All right, everybody, this is Corey Michael Sanchez here and Ira Rosen, and we want to welcome you to this very special Mojo show, and we're going to be talking about a lot today. Mostly, we're going to be talking about how do you close better, because we have as a very special guest, Grant Cardone, and he is an international sales expert, motivational speaker, best-selling author. He's been on lots of news programs from CNBC, MSNBC, Fox programs of all kinds, Bloomberg, and he's spoken all over the world, internationally recognized. Anything else you'd like to add, Ira?
Well, also he's been an industry leader as a sales trainer for the auto industry, and those are the toughest people to do business with. I know that because I used to be one of those guys. I was one of the good guys, but that's a hard crowd to get in with and to get to trust you. And so the fact that Grant has been able to pull that off consistently for 25 years is, for me, absolutely mind-boggling. So, Grant, we want to just welcome you here, and thanks for taking time. I know you're going 1,000 miles an hour right now. I know you got lots of projects, but we really appreciate it. I heard you in Scottsdale a couple months ago in front of about 1,500 people, and you're up there for 2.5 hours, and you just basically blew everybody out of the water. And it's really fun to have you here right now. But we just want to talk about a couple different things tonight, and Corey, go ahead. You want to kick off?
Yeah, so right now I'm listening to the 10X formula, and it's a really killer audio. I'm listening to it on audible.com, and I wish, and so we got that book right there if you want to show it, Ira. And so this is, go for it.
There's the audio version right there. We just got it in our offices, actually.
No, it's amazing. And I got to say, so I'm listening to it on audible.com. I listen to it when I'm in the car on the way to the office. I listen to it as I'm waking up. Actually, it's the first thing I listen to when I wake up because it just really motivates me. So I got to say there's nothing I've listened to that kind of sums up the motivation, the mindset, the attitude of really getting out there and crushing it, especially right now, because a lot of people go at it at less than 10X. And so what I want to do is actually, kind of have you talk a little bit about the 10X rule, the 10X philosophy, and what that means for entrepreneurs out there today.
Okay, well, Corey, thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it. Ira, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys thinking enough of me. And basically, the 10X rule is the fourth book in a line of books that I've written since the Lehman's collapse. When Lehman's collapsed, I wrote a book called Sell to Survive, followed it up with a book called Closer Survival Guide, followed that up with a book that became a New York Times bestseller called If You're Not First, You're Last. And then this last book is called the 10X Rule. Those three books that preceded the 10X Rule were sales strategy books for sales organizations, all businesses, if you will, under the premise that the whole world had become more dependent upon a sales-driven market, a sales management, and not just a marketing type of economy where things are good, you run an ad, put up a billboard, run TV or radio, and people come to you. That's not what's happening in this new economy. What I found out after writing those three books, that salespeople, sales organizations, sales managers, and even entrepreneurs, in fact, I would include the entire middle class of the United States, is suffering from a phenomenon of not understanding how much effort it takes to push an agenda, a project, a dream, a business, whatever. They underestimate how much of a push it takes, and thus we call it the 10X rule, meaning, look, you need goals 10 times bigger than you think. I don't care what your dream is. The guys that are winning on this planet, their dreams are massive. It's not, I want to make a bunch of money. It's, I want to ding the universe like Steve Jobs. And then those people are taking 10 times the actions that are basically in their business plan. And I'm going to say one other thing, that I'll turn it back over to you. But look, the middle class in America, which I'm very interested in because I came from it, the middle class in America is being crushed. It's being, just hammered. Not because of governments, not because of banks, not because of the 1%. The middle class in America is suffering because it's operated off of a failed financial policy that was based on just enough. I'm going to do just enough, work just enough, get just a good enough job, save just enough, and it didn't work. You know, if you talk to the average financial planner in the United States, they say you need 3 months of saving. Multiply times 10. That's what you need. Mm-hmm. You need 30 months of savings, not 3 months.
Yeah, no, and I think as far as entrepreneurs go, I mean, I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are, you know, and one of the things that you hit on as far as you need to do it 10 times the effort, you know, and I think this is a really big message for all the entrepreneurs out there that think it's okay to just kind of go along and, you know, I got, you know, 4 sales presentations this week. It looks like a good week and, you know, kind of just doing it that way instead of just overdoing it.
I just got a guy called me from Dallas. He's like, I think I'm going to leave the market. I'm like, bro, look, you invested too much time and energy in one client. He turned you down last week. Okay, something came up where the guy kinked the deal from the customer standpoint. You had too many eggs in one basket. You were too dependent upon one client. Oh, man, he starts calling her names, blaming her, finger pointing. I'm like, dude, you sound like a loser. She's not the problem. She's not the problem, bro. Okay, you know what the problem is? You didn't use 10x. You should have had 10 clients, not one.
Right.
And if you got 10, you need 100. That's the economy we're in. This is no longer. I mean, I feel terrible for all the Gen Yers out there. You know, guys 29 years old. How old are you, Corey?
26.
26. Dude, you know, you've been in business maybe, what, 6 or 7 years for yourself?
Yeah, about 4.
Yeah. Okay, so 4. So, you know, that's good because you had one year where the economy the wind was at your back, and the last 3 is like, oh my gosh, what's happening here?
Yeah, yeah.
So literally, but if you look at a guy 29 or 32 years old, just starting a family, he's got 2 kids now. Out of the last 4 years, he had 1 year that was good. He thought he was going to make a truckload of money.
Yeah. And
then 2007 came. 2008, the world rolls over into the worst economic collapse in our lifetimes. Okay, and he's like, "What happened?" But he's got 2 kids. He's got all this debt. He's got the fancy car. He's got the house that fits the 2 kids. And he's like, "I don't know what to do right now." And nobody at college taught him how to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's it. And you call it the squeeze, or really you called it the middle class hammer. And, you know, I can, there's nothing better I think you could say that would demonstrate that whole principle about how the middle class, and, you know, they think it's okay. They're supposed to live with this, right? And I think, you know, your message really teaches them a lot that, no, this is not okay. You should be living at a far higher level. And the reason you're not is because of your effort level, the energy level, the amount you're expending, the motivation that you have. Because, yeah, a lot of people thought they were going to make a truckload of money. They did, and then they are not making so much money. And instead of reverting that and doing 10 times the effort, they're just doing the same thing and hoping that something's going to come along and save them, right?
Right. And it starts with, you know, people basically set goals that are too small.
Yeah.
So I was working with a management team recently, and they're like, "Man, I got young people. They're not motivated. I got a couple of guys that have been around. They don't seem motivated. How do I get people motivated?" I'm like, "Well, how do I get them to take 10x actions?" I'm like, first of all, you got to set goals that are bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Look, if your goals are to make $38,000 a year, you're never going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to even work enough to make the 38. Because
Yeah.
Why would you make 38? Who wants to make 38 grand a year? And a guy in the Midwest is like, "I'm fine with 38. Yeah, but buddy, you won't be fine after you realize that all you're doing is paying other people with the 38.
True.
You can't stay motivated when you're just making 38. I mean, you're just not going to be excited. If you have gifts, if you have 1,000 horsepower, if God gave you 1,000 horsepower and you're only using 80, and you know you're sitting on 920 horsepower, you don't know what to do with it, don't know how to use it, you're just not going to go fly that F-16 if you don't know what to do with it. So it's like, if management wants to really get your people motivated, you've got to get people to set targets that are 10 times. Whatever the guy thinks he wants to make, I'm like, no, dude, we got to get you to 300 grand, my brother. And what about the guy that doesn't want to make that? Look, man, you taste 300,000 one time, you'll never, ever think about 38 again.
Yep.
Yeah, I love, Grant, when you talk about how average, and I say this every day to people, how average is a strategy for failure, and how people need... And it's just, and people need to be unreasonable and those two things I think about all the time, because everybody is settling. They're settling for everything, and that's why everybody's in the mess they're in right now.
Yes, yes. And there's 4 basic actions people take. They either do nothing. A lot of people do nothing. Okay? They back up. They retreat. That's what started happening after 2007. They started retreating. Saving on money, saving on budget, saving on energy, effort. I know a guy that went to Bali. Okay? The economy rolled over. He says, I'm going to go to Bali and hang out for a year. It's cheap there. I'm going to wait till this passes. I'm like, what if it doesn't pass?
Yeah.
What if this is a real economy? So this is the 4 actions. People don't do anything. They retreat. The third one, the most dangerous, is I do just enough, average. And the 4th action, the one that all the players take, the hitters, okay, the 1%ers, if you want to talk about them, is massive amounts of action. They're not even satisfied with the amount of action they take. So what do? They hire staffs of people to multiply their actions.
Yeah, and it's all about leverage, leveraging time, money, people, and technology. And if you don't leverage, it's never going to happen for you. And, talking about, using your potentiality, it's sort of like, I use the analogy, it's like if you had a red Ferrari with 12 cylinders, most people are on maybe 1 cylinder if they're lucky. And they're wasting all that energy, all that potentiality, because, it gets, and let's talk for a moment about their belief systems, because I know that, you've talked about that a lot. And if someone's wired a certain way, how does somebody go in there and rewire their brain regarding all that?
First of all, let me just say that everybody's wired as a Ferrari. God didn't make any Civics.
Right. That's true.
Everybody's. I mean, you're wired. You're wired to be way more than a Ferrari. Everyone is. I don't care. That homeless guy you see on the street corner of Sunset and Fairfax here. That if you ever visit over here in Hollywood, you'll see the guy there. Dude, I'm telling you, the guy's got 10,000 horsepower. He's got enough freaking jet fuel in him to go to other planets and stay there. But something happened. Something happened. A lot of losses. A lot of people pushing him down. Maybe his education system. Something. Maybe he just had he took the wrong turn here or there. So everybody, this is what I want to tell for people to know. Look, man, you're not even tapped in to what you're capable of. I'm not tapped in. I've written 4 books in 2.5 years. So what? Big deal. I know I could do more than that. Look at the people that have created like unbelievable amounts of work in their lifetime. The Jesus Christs, the Martin Luther Kings. I mean, I could go on and on. The Carlos Slim that was selling technology. He's the richest guy in the world now. He's in Mexico. I mean, on and on. Your capabilities are wired in already. People just got to know that. But there's a lot of miseducation in the marketplace that says you're not capable, you can't do it, don't dream that big, play it safe, be conservative. Dude, I don't want to be conservative. I don't want to save my way to wealth. I don't want to be Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey. They're just not interesting people to me. I want to blow it up, dude. I'd rather be a rapper. I'd rather be a rapper, clipping it, hitting it. I'd like to be an athlete. You look at Pujols. He got $254 million. This isn't a money issue with me. But when a guy scores a contract, $254 million for 10 years, dude, that's serious. You're not making a lifestyle change for your wife. Okay, she gets a bigger ring. You're talking about doing something significant and being acknowledged and awarded by the marketplace as exceptional. It's not about the money. It's about, man, I paid the price. I dug in. I had gifts from God, and I did something special with them. I don't ever pray and ask God to do anything for me. I'm like, dude, you already did enough. The rest is up to me.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that a lot, because it's the biggest shame there is, where people just, they say that most people they die at age they die at age 40, but they live the rest of their life in a mummified state from the neck on up. They're just dead.
Yeah.
I call them zombie entrepreneurs. They're walking around and they're just, if they're any more laid back, you could put dirt on them.
Yeah. In all fairness to them, look, with the media content that you're getting barraged with the negative media, that basically suggests to you can't do anything about it. I mean, you're overwhelmed with content, information every day that's like, okay, wait a minute, maybe there's nothing I can do. And so, this is not like in the 50s when news happens and you hear about it a day later, but there's only 3 TV channels.
Right.
This is 800 TV channels.
Right.
And if that's not enough, we got radio and Sirius, unlimited content hitting me every second of every day. Add to that social media. Okay? For instance, I don't know if you guys know it, but I was in the airport at LAX the other day. I was the first person that tweeted that Alec Baldwin was being kicked off of his plane.
Oh, were you on that flight or no?
No, I wasn't on the flight. I was in the Admirals Club, and I was up there getting my seat changed, and the lady says, oh my God, Alec Baldwin's getting kicked off the plane right now. And I asked her, I said, what for? And she told me. She tells me, right? And I'm like, I'm on my phone. I was just awarded the top, one of the top 10 business coaches on Twitter for 2011. And I just saw the message come in on my phone. So I had my phone in my hand like I do now. I have a Twitter account on here, and I was already in it. And I just posted, Alec Baldwin's being kicked off of American Airlines flight number 4 to JFK right now for abusive content, or for abusive treatment to a flight attendant. And I added, not carrying his Capital One card.
Product
that
placement.
Tweet went around the world, okay? It went freaking nuts. I had 6,000 ads to my Twitter page that day. TMX, ABC, CBS, NBC, they all called. We did interviews for People Magazine, the Boston Herald. I mean, the point, when you got this kind of distraction hitting you all day long, and then the TV hitting you, and then the radio, not to mention your friends, your friends, your family, your brother that wants to give you good advice because he didn't make it, so he don't want you to make it. Hey, I'm not surprised we're not all freaking laying down already just with a stake in our heart saying I quit.
So let me ask you this. You got your average entrepreneur out there. He feels alone. He feels like he's working with his team. His team's underperforming. He doesn't quite know what to do. Besides buying your stuff, where does he start with all of this?
Dude, you got to start with a decision. One, you got to say, okay, I'm not playing this game anymore.
Yeah.
A business plan might have worked 3 or 4 years ago. I doubt it worked then. Look, it takes action. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take organizing. It doesn't take planning. It doesn't take management. It takes freaking rolling up your sleeves and leading the way, like the people that work around me, they produce way more than they thought they were capable of because they see the level I produce at. My level of production actually makes people uncomfortable. So, I think where the guy starts is he needs to understand the education he has does not support him in this economy. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's almost like if I could get a chalkboard eraser and just scrub his brain. They talk about brainwashing. Some people need to be brainwashed. They need to brainwash. they need to get a freaking mental colonic. You need to get it all washed out, man.
Okay.
You got to be taking 10 times the action. That rich guy that plays golf at the Beverly Hills golf course or the Bel Air golf course, or you see these rich people, looks like they're not doing anything. They are doing something even when they're not.
Yeah, true enough.
They're connected to pipelines. They don't think this big. They think endless. The guys at Goldman Sachs that make $2 billion on a transaction, or $20 million on a transaction, they did a $2 billion deal. They don't think in terms of hours, clocks. So he needs to push his people harder. Mm-hmm. You need to push your people till they hate your freaking guts.
Yeah, I agree because, I was an athlete in high school and college. I was actually I was a collegiate wrestler, and somebody once told me that a world-class coach will push you to the point where you want to kill him. He pushes you that hard because when you cross that line and you go beyond that, that's when you start to really tap into what you really can do. And people, and what happens is everybody's gotten so damn politically correct, they're afraid to take it to the next level. They're just
just look at all the people failing from that policy right now.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of failure. Look at all the people that are gifted, talented, have great ideas, and still aren't making it.
It's true.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so I think, look, two things for me. One, I'm 53 years old, but I know two things today that maybe I didn't know when I was 30. One is I never set my goals high enough. They should have been way bigger. And I've done some pretty compared to the rest of my heritage, I've done some pretty remarkable things compared to my grandfather, even my father. But they should have been 10 times, maybe 100 times bigger think. And number two, I should have been taking actions. See, if my think was 10 times bigger than it was, then my actions have to follow.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, cool. No, I think that's definitely the first step. Action, taking massive action. And that's what we encourage our people to do, because if they don't do that, they're going to be in the same spot or worse 12 months from now, 6 months from now, and whatever. And they're going to be sitting there wondering, number one, where their time is gone, and number two, will they ever be out of this hole that they're in? And number three, if there's anybody that can help them, well, they are their source for their own help. Most people look outward when they should look inward and really realize that they have the powers to do it, to get out of it, and to really succeed. And so for this small business owner, let's just say he takes massive action, and now he's getting in front of more people. You have some massive tactics as far as selling, as far as closing and all of that. And I've read The Survival's Guide to Closing, and it's an amazing book. One of the things I love about it is that it's got actual things that you can use. It's got tactics. It's got, and I'll just show it right here on the interview. This is what I've read. I keep it on my desk so that I can use it over and over and over again. And it's got amazing information in it. And so
once you flip to like the middle of the book and just show them this isn't a book you read and it's not a book you finish.
Right, exactly.
See like the close. Let me see what close you got it marked. That's cool. What close is that?
This one is called the Think About It close number 2.
Yeah. So the customer says, I need to think about it. You finally got in front of the right guy. It gives you the exact words and phrases. See, most people bail out on a deal, a customer, because they just run out of things to say. It's not that you don't want to stay in the deal, but when you run out of conversation, you quit talking to the hot chick. So. And then you wonder why the hot chick ends up with some ugly guy. You know what I'm talking about, Corey.
Yeah. He had more to say, that's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. He had more to say. He could stay relevant. He took interest in her or what. Look, when you run out of things to talk about, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
One of the things that, and I know this is your belief, is that, I believe, and I tell my people, and we work with a lot of companies, and when I'm sitting down doing some consulting, I say, look, you got to believe in your heart of hearts that if they don't buy from you, that you have done them such a big service, that you have lit them down, and you've got to get your head in that space. It's like an athlete that just shows up on the, like on the football field. Before he gets out there, mentally he's got to get in that certain place where he's just going to go out there and kill people. And so it's the same thing when you get in front of those people. It's either them or you. They sell you or you sell them. And talk about that for a little bit, about the belief of how you've got to be so sold on your product and that allows you to stay in there longer and harder.
Yeah, well, that's look, I don't really sell products. I don't sell books. I sell, like for me, like this book, I know when I get a phone call from a guy at Paychecks, he works for a company called Paychecks.
Right.
He gets this program on November 1, and he listens to it. His manager comes to him, what's your quota? What's your quota for November? He's like, dude, I don't have anything working, nothing. How many has started a month thinking, shit, it could be a zero the whole month?
Right.
This guy's got to cold call clients, okay? He's in Chicago. He listens to this for 3 days. This cost him $29 or something, I don't know, $30. It's basically a book I wrote, but I expound on the book. It's not a shorter version of the book. It's me going, I start riffing in the book
right.
on the audio program. 3 days into listening to it, he's like, "Oh my gosh, man! What is?" I basically rehabilitated his ability to produce. By the end of the month, he hit 185% of his quota.
Wow!
With no advertising, not one ad, nothing, no direct mail. He was awarded the top salesperson in our region. And he listened to the program 4 times in 1 month. He's just driving around his car listening to it.
That's got to make you feel so good.
Dude, and that's what I'm getting to. I'm not really operating on a money thing right now. I'm operating on literally our mission here. My mission is to save America. That's my mission.
That's awesome.
And I actually think I can do it.
Yeah.
I do too. I like that smile.
Yeah, it's very presidential over here.
No, you know what?
I just need people to to unplug from the Anderson Coopers and the O'Reillys and the talking heads on TV and say, okay, I'm going to get at least 30 minutes of Cardone. I'll get you in the zone. I'll get you in the Cardone zone where we're like, okay, get rid of the negativity, find a client. This is what you say to him. And like if people would use the books in the exact order, this is the order. Missing one. Okay. I got to insert yours, Corey. I don't have yours with me, okay? If they would just do it like in this order, Sell to Survive, that book will take 3 days to read.
Right.
Then the one Corey's got,
right here.
Okay, Close the Survival Guide.
Yeah, right there.
Then this book. This book is called If You're Not First, You're Last. This is a prospecting book. So if I sell people, I'm sold on my product. That's Sell to Survive. And then I get Corey's book, Closing a Deal. I start learning how to close people. Then I need to fill my pipeline up. So I'm basically covering the things a person needs to know, and then I just need to back it up with the right amount of actions. So if a person was like, I can't get all the 4 books, which one do I start with, okay? I mean, look, if you can't sell, you're dead. I don't care if you're an actor in Hollywood, you're trying to raise money for a movie, you're trying to go get venture capitalists to support your company, you got some great idea. You know how many people come to me every day with a great idea? Dude, I've heard more great ideas than I can shake a stick at. I mean, everybody's got a great idea. Can you sell it?
That's true.
Can you drive some revenue? Can you get people to support you, bro? Can you get people to buy it? Well, we're doing a beta. Okay, that means you can't sell it.
That's a code word for I can't sell for crap.
Yeah, exactly. That's code. We got a beta. We're testing it out. Apple and Microsoft, these big companies, they don't do long betas. Dude, they're driving revenue from day one.
When these people say, well, it takes 3 to 4 to 5 years to show a profit, I laugh in their face. That's crazy. That's stupid talk. Wouldn't you agree?
Totally, man. It's going to take me a month.
Yeah.
I'm going to be profitable the first month I start my business.
That's right.
Now, obviously, if you got a big equipment, you got a company that's got tremendous amounts of technology investments, maybe you're not going to be there, but I'm going to tell you, the faster you can ramp up revenues, like I got a buddy right now, TrueCar, Scott Painter, that runs TrueCar, okay? It's a buying service for consumers. Dude, they just raised $200 million. He's been in business 7 years. Company's probably going to have a valuation of $1 billion. He does that in 7 years. That's sick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Groupon had the highest valuation of any company that's ever gone public. Why? Because they were able to drive revenues from day one. And driving revenues means selling.
Yeah, it's all about selling because, as an example, if someone's selling something for $5,000, Wouldn't you agree that they're selling themselves for $5,000? They get the product or service for free.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So it's like that goes back to your comment about people have to be sold, man. You need to be doing something you love. But I'll also say to you, look, if you're winning at whatever you're doing, you're probably going to love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you love something and you're not winning at it, I'll bet you start hating it pretty quick.
That's true.
So the old saying is, do what you love and, the money will come. Look, if you ain't winning at it, you ain't going to love it.
Yeah, that's true. So you must have some amazing stories over the years working with these car dealers. You must have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, share with me something that just pops in your brain, something kind of off the wall that just kind of that's a great story working with dealers.
We worked with probably a success story that I'm thinking of right now is working with a group out of New York that, the guy comes to me and says, look, I'm 17th in the country. I want to go to first. We accomplished that in 1 year.
Nice.
Wow.
And look, it's not like he spent a bunch of money to do it.
Wow.
Did he spend some money? Yeah. Did he say yes to everything? Yes. But I mean, really what we did was we got in there in a bad economy and basically took advantage of things other people wouldn't do. Like during a contraction, when things are tough, that's the only time you can grab market share. You don't want a good economy.
Yeah.
That's true.
You want what we have now. This is the opportunity. Because when things are real good and easy and money's everywhere, it's hard to make a difference.
Yeah, it's
because everybody gets a piece.
You're right, because Corey and I met Corey through my daughter, and they were friends, and so we started work. I actually started mentoring Corey, and so in the very beginning, when the wheels fell off with the economy, I said, "Dude, this is awesome." And I know he kind of looked at me like, who's this crazy guy here? And I kept saying that. I said, man, when you got massive chaos and confusion, you got massive opportunity. And I still say that every day because everyone's waving the white flag. They've mentally given up. It's like the football team that's getting beat down 50-0. They don't want to come out of the tunnel for the second half. Wouldn't you agree?
Right.
So, I mean, this is where the money is made right now because I've been in 6 bad down markets. That's when I've made the most money, when things are just flipped around and upside down because everyone else is caved in and they just want to go home.
Right, and look, even if you don't believe what that concept, that this is the time to make it. Look, it's not going to get good for a long time. So if you're ever going to make it, get your game on now because this economy is going to be sluggish, bumpy, up and down, ugly. You're going to be playing on a wet, muddy field for years to come.
That's a great analogy. That is true. And wearing tennis shoes, you don't even have cleats.
There's no cleats, okay? Probably no tread left on your tennis shoe. You're going to be tired and weary. Your muscles are strained and pulled. You're dehydrated. No Gatorade on the sidelines.
I heard this the other day. You'll love this, Grant. This guy was talking about, there's all kinds of pain. There's the pain of discipline, which is okay. But then the worst pain of all is the pain of regret. And what we at the end of the day, what we regret at the end of our lives, people say what we regret is not what we did, but what we didn't do and all the things you're talking about, because the graveyard is filled with millions and millions of great ideas, products, and services that never got sold and never got to market. And so, all your message is so powerful right now because this is the right message at the right time for the masses, because people, they need to get real right now because, I call it, hopium. Yeah, I mean, hope is not a strategy. They just got to dig down deep and have some discipline, focus, and persistence.
Right.
All right. Well, hey, Grant, it's been awesome interviewing you. We're going to put a link to all of your stuff, in our websites and on our social media and also in our members area. And so where do you suggest people check out more information about your stuff and how you can help them achieve 10x level success and really sell more stuff?
Well, let me start with the free stuff first, okay?
Sure.
There's a number you know, somebody said to me last night, they wrote, "Man, you sure are expensive." I'm like, well, then why don't you go for all the free stuff, bro? I mean, rather than complaining, do you want to just bitch, complain? Or, I mean, I don't charge $1 million for anything. So, I mean, what's a lot of money? This guy was complaining about, I don't know, $300 program. I'm like, dude, if you think $300 is a lot of money, I promise you'll never be rich.
Yeah.
You can pray to all the gods. If you think $300 is a lot of money, how are you going to ever have 20 million? It's not going to happen in your lifetime. So let me just start with the free stuff. You can go to my Twitter handle is @GrantCardone. I drop free tips, strategies, business strategies, and motivational quotes there every hour. Okay, literally, I average 21 tweets a day.
Wow.
They're written by me, okay, not one of my people. There's a Facebook page. If you go to Facebook and put in my name, Grant Cardone, you're going to see a fan page come up. If you hit like on that page was developed for one thing, sales strategies and business strategies. Because I can put in more characters there, you're going to see a little more content there, and you'll see some video. Okay, let me just stay with the free stuff here for a second. Good. If you go to grantcardone.com and just put in your first name, last name, and your email address, I'll deliver an actual full written out strategy for you every week on sales tips. Most of that's come from either my books or my videos. YouTube, if you go to YouTube, there's 500 plus videos sitting on there. So this guy last night cracking on me about $300. I'm like, well, then don't give me any money, bro.
Yeah, 500, that's not enough videos.
It's like, what do you want for nothing? Your money back?
There's 521 videos or something on YouTube. Watch them. Go ahead and watch them, okay? Whatever, man. Look, I'm looking for 6 billion people. Now, in addition to all that, I got programs that go from, like, I got an app. There's an app in closethesaleapp.com.
Nice.
It's free until on the 11th time that you go to use it, it's gonna try to charge you. It's $29.
That's awesome.
Okay. I promise you, it will be the most valuable app you have on your phone. It's got 302 different closes for salespeople and sales organizations. So I'll just show it to you right here real quick, okay?
Wow.
So I got my phone.
Yeah, does that work on Google phones too? Or do you have the iPhone one?
Works on Androids.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So these are all closes right here, sitting on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it because of the light.
A little bit.
Yeah, the light's kind of bad, huh? Anyway, and I can click on this, and it'll open me up to all these different ways to handle closes, like what's sitting in your book back there.
Yeah.
But like when you're on a sales call, you can't bring the book with you. You know what I'm saying, Corey?
True enough.
But I could have this phone in my hand on the way to the appointment. Oh, I got a guy. He always stalls me every time I try to sell him. He puts it off on his wife or the treasurer, the bookkeeper or whatever. So you can go to the actual problem you're having. So at grantcardone.com, there's all these other tools, audio programs, video programs. We have a university that you can go to and actually get accredited with certificates. It's called CardoneUniversity.com. And it's a school where we train salespeople, and you actually take a test. You watch a 2-minute video, and then you do a test. It's awesome, man. It's an awesome school, and you get certified at the end of each one of these courses. There's almost, 700, 800 videos sitting in there.
Kick ass.
Wow.
All right, man. Well, good. And you do in-depth coaching as well, or do you do like big ass, closing programs for a lot of Fortune 500 companies and companies all over the world, correct?
Yeah, we customize training programs for company. I mean, I just had 2 major retailers call me at the end of the year and saying, "Hey, we need something for customer satisfaction because I'm concerned that cyber activity, the internet activity, is bouncing, spiking, because the customer experience is so negative." And I believe that. I wrote an article about that actually, and I believe that's happening. So we customize programs. We don't do any one-on-one coaching, but we do it for companies, and we also do seminars. Like I'm coming to Dallas to do a seminar next week. And then I'm doing a seminar in Detroit as well.
Kick ass.
Nice.
All right. Well, hey, this has been a killer interview. Thanks so much for being a part of the Mojo show. And all our people are going to hear about your stuff. we're going to highly recommend it. It's on our top resources that we recommend as far as the books, the trainings, all of that, because, just myself, we've seen huge changes in our closing ratios just listening to your tips and tricks and tactics. And so I got to say thank you for that, because, that's made a huge impact in our business and actually helped me more enjoy selling, and that I think that's the biggest thing. You got to enjoy it in order to do it better.
Totally. And when you're winning and when you know what to say and you know what to do next, like, I don't like plumbing.
Yeah.
I just don't like plumbing. And the reason I don't like plumbing is because I don't know what I'm doing.
It's the reason I don't like bowling.
Exactly. So, guys, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And best of luck to you and all the people that follow you guys.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks,
Grant. All right, man.
Take
Adios,
care.
dude.
Bye-bye.